Back talking Cougar volleyball as the Columbia College Cougars making their 18th, is that correct? 18th? Yes, 18th appearance in the national tournament for the NAIA championship. A run that your squad made last year all the way to the finals. Fell short by that one match and a chance to redeem themselves here now. You kind of wait a little bit to find out your pool that you end up in, but it's pool play up front, and then you have to win that and move on. But you're talking a total of, what, 6 matches in 5 days in order to bring home the championship.
Mm-hmm. It's grueling. It's a long week, and you know, a lot of prep goes into that as far as physicality. I mean, you need to be physically ready to endure that many games in that many days. I think it benefits us a little bit. Our schedule has been very heavy like that, playing weekend tournaments and stringing games together, you know, 5 matches in 4 days or whatever it may have been throughout the season, because a lot of conferences will play just 2 conference matches a week, and they spread them out 2 or 3 days apart. Well, when they get in this setting, you know, by game 3, their legs are pretty tired, and they're struggling to keep their systems together. So I think it benefits us setting up our schedule the way we do, because it is very difficult to play that many matches at that high of a level with any consistency and be mentally tough enough to play through the fatigue.
It's something we've talked about over the years on the show, that's the plan for the whole schedule is to set it up for this final run in the national tournament. So it's not just let's have a good season and then, okay, now all of a sudden you got to flip this switch that doesn't come at all, you know, when you're talking to your final top 32 teams, and that's it. And a lot of times teams aren't able to put that together. Let's take what happened in the conference finals in this last week and a half or so, preparation for the national tournament. How have you been able as a coach to take that tough loss and turn it into as much of a positive as possible to get them focused for the tournament?
I hate to lose, but it's actually been a very positive thing. I mean, it was a wake-up call a little bit, and you know, it really got across to my girls. Especially, this team seems to be very comfortable. We're in a comfort zone because we returned everyone basically, and we have only 1 new player. Everybody was kind of cruising through, and even kind of trying to cruise through practices and drills and things like that. And that was a real wake-up call. And they've really been working hard. We've increased the competitive nature of our practices even more. Every drill that we have has a consequence. Every drill, as far as by position, has goals that need to be met, and you know, practices have been a little bit longer. So I think it's been very beneficial to have that as leverage in my case as a coach, and also though the team understands. They saw it and they accept it, and you know, you can either complain about it or you can accept it and move on, and they've accepted it and accept the fact that they need to work.
Yeah,
so
and again, it's one of those, you know, you don't necessarily say that the team has been spoiled by this success, but at the same time, sometimes when that success comes at the high clip that it has for so long, a lot of talk about the different streaks and this and that and whatever, and all of a sudden, you know, you realize, hey, wait a minute, we're not just worried about some of those California schools, we got to worry about, you know, our own conference as well. Right,
and you know, we have MOBAP's significantly better this year. I mean, they've got some great transfer students in, and they returned a great core that you know, they've gained a lot of experience, you know, through that core, and they're a good team, you know, and I think you're right. We just took advantage and got comfortable, and you can't play comfortable. You have to always play with that target on your back and know it's there, and know that you have to defend not just every match, but every set, every point, every play.
Well, the fact that you've got that bitter taste of that defeat this close, I mean, it's tough to have the post ceremonies, all the, you know, accolades that your girls got, which is amazing within conference awards and all that, and all the academic, but it's tough when you see them, you know, go up and get their awards, and they have to kind of put on that fake smile, if you will, a little bit, because it's a tough loss. But I think this being this close to the tournament, rather than having to reach all the way back to something that happened 2 months ago, can be a definite benefit. But you're still a very successful season. You're in the national tournament. If you had to pick your MVP of your 2011 season, who would that be?
Paula Fajeda. Clearly, she's, you know, she had a rough day Saturday, you know, and has struggled throughout the season with her back, you know, being stiff and sore. But she comes to play, you know, and she's a student of the game too. She really studies her opponent. She learns and adapts very quickly within the match as far as where she needs to put the ball. I think she's very patient with the rest of the team, because the passing isn't always as great as it could be. She's chasing a lot of balls that a lot of setters would just not even take a step for, and making great plays. You know, she betters the ball everywhere she goes, and as a setter, you can't ask a setter anymore than to better the ball, and she'll kill herself every play to better that ball and make it better for her hitters.
Now, if you had to pick somebody on your squad that maybe was the most surprising, you did have a lot of the girls back, obviously your major core, but if you had to pick maybe that surprise player, who would that be?
You know, I think there's a couple, both Canadians, Kelly Corkum and Jordan Reed. Kelly's returning from last year's squad and our starting opposite hitter. She's just really developed a lot of core strength, and she's hitting a very high hitting percentage as far as being in the conference, and by position. She's hitting a very high percentage. Blocking, she just controls the entire right side of our court. She just is a huge block over there and is gaining confidence. You know, she's a player that hasn't played volleyball that long. She didn't start until I think it was her junior or senior year in high school. Right. She'd always played basketball, and you know, she's learning. She's becoming more court aware as she plays longer. So she's really improved. She's shown a lot. And Jordan Reed's a freshman and came in and just kind of started from scratch with us, and the only freshman and the only addition to this year's team. So she's had a lot of pressure from the others. They've been really trying to get her up to speed very quickly, and she's a really fun girl to be around, and great personality, and has adapted quickly, and she's an impact player. She's going to be a great player. It's
got to be pretty intimidating to know you're coming in. I mean, in some ways, you know, some girls would look at it maybe like, okay, well, this is cool. Everybody's here, and I don't have that much pressure because I don't have to. I'm not going to necessarily play a ton, but that's, you know, that's the from year to year, the players that stick around, you know, kind of bring the new girls in, and now you're going to really look at her for next year when you do have more turnaround and turnover with the girls that are going to be leaving into next year.
Right, and you know, with her, I'm comfortable putting her in. If one of our outsides, you know, they've earned that spot. They're both seniors and have had great, successful careers at Columbia, and Serena Jenkins and Vesna Trivinovic both come a long way. Both of them have really grown, but you know, if one of them doesn't play well, I have no problem putting Jordan in, and you can't always say that about a freshman. Right. You can't say that, hey, I'm comfortable against Mobap. I put Jordan in there, and she did a great job. You know, those are big games, big matches, and I have no problem putting her in at this point.
Columbia College getting ready to head for the national tournament at the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City, Iowa. We're going to come back, talk about exactly how the national tournament for college volleyball on the NAIA level works with Coach Washington, and how our team continues to prepare for that trip, trying to bring back another number up on that banner you see in the Southwell complex above the tunnel. We'll come back with the coach after this. You're watching the Cougar Coaches Show, Mediacom Channel 22.